In Wolf Point, Montana, Greg Hurst's students engage in Native American storytelling. In response to Mourning Dove's collection of Salish coyote tales, the students create and present their own stories.
To understand stories and songs, you have to understand the concept of the lodge. You have to go into the lodge and become at home with the storyteller and approach this literature as a member of this tribe.
Francisco, glad to have you in this tribe. Have a seat there.
The Fort Peck Indian Reservation has 4 communities that have high schools. Ours is the largest. It's divided almost 50-50 tribal and non-tribal.
Amber. Amber, glad.
The school is very comfortable acknowledging our tribal heritage here and includes all of the students equally. You do not need to be a tribal member by blood in our school. You're a tribal member by geography.
Okay, draw yourself an arc. And on that, put our first character that we're going to learn about today, the first part of our story, and that is the salmon. Think about this for a moment. Since some of you are getting ready to join the salmon clan, first of all, we have to know what a salmon is, why it's important. Salmon does one thing for us in this tribe. What does the salmon do? Andrew.
Gives us food.
All right, the grizzly bear. What is the grizzly bear known for?
Fighting.
A grizzly bear is ferocious. It teaches us to be tough. Think for a moment. We need to add our last animal, our last totem. Who's in the sky that we need to know?
The birds.
Go further than the birds. We're going to be a specific bird. Which one is that?
Eagle.
Absolutely, the eagle. Our tribe is going to be composed of these 3 clans. The salmon clan, the grizzly bear clan, and the eagle clan. All right, for a couple moments, think about which clan you want to join. Think about that. This is a big decision. This is a heritage you're going to claim today.
When we identified the clans in Mourning Dove's literature, I asked students to consider them not only by name, but by strength, and to choose which one they would more closely identify with.
I'd like to be an eagle.
Salmon.
Grizzly bear, kind of.
Grizzly bear.
The way that Greg Hurst is using the lodge and the clan system in the classroom is an innovative approach that he's using Mourning Dove's cultural terms to understand the narratives that they've read that are from that tradition.
Salmon here, eagle here, grizzly bear in the center.
Using that as a teaching tool is a fine thing to do if you make it clear to the students that it's something that they should respect, that you're usually born into a clan or you marry into a clan.
I have some faces here that I want to introduce you to. Those 4 young men are grizzly bears. They are my brothers, 4 of them, and I bring that up for one reason. Anytime I speak about my language, my culture, my tradition, I speak through them.
I am a Blackfeet tribal member, and each time I speak, you are hearing my mother, you're hearing my brothers, you're hearing my grandparents and my great-grandparents.
Starting here, we have my grandfather and my mother's oldest sister. He was clearly an eagle. We cannot be a clan or tribe. We need to have what, Evan?
A chief.
A chief. Okay. Take a moment. Within your clan, select your chief. Think about that. Discuss that. Who is your chief? Remember, the moment you choose your chief, that person is going to represent your clan. So as you make that decision, you're not deciding friendship here. You're not deciding popularity. You are deciding who among you would best represent you.
I am Eric, and I'm chief of the Salmon clan.
I'm Robert, and I'm chief of the Grizzly clan.
I am Katie, and I am chief of the Eagle clan.
All right, I need the faces on this sheet of your 4 or 5 tribal members. Each one of you is responsible for your face. Work as this as a group.
In tribal literature, oral or written, You absolutely have to know your face. Now, face means to us identity. If you know your face, you know who you are. If you know who you are, you find your voice. Face and voice will bring the story out.
I'm going to introduce our last animal, and that's Coyote, with his twin brother, Fox. He has two faces. As I'm speaking right now, I want you to look at the faces you put on paper there. Those faces have two sides. They have that side that you are showing everyone else. Then beneath that is that real face. That's the purpose of having Coyote in the world. He is going to scare us with what that other face looks like. That's that deeper face beneath that superficial one.
The coyote figure actually has two aspects to him or her, and that's trickster transformer. We're more familiar with the trickster side, and in fact, coyote tricksters especially get co-opted, like the cartoon Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. But in Native traditions, there are times when, either purposely or inadvertently, coyote figures transform the world. So both sides of the coyote figure need to be taken into account.
Coyote is a major trickster in oral literature. It is in many tribal traditions. However, Mourning Dove gives Coyote two faces. She gives him Coyote and Fox. This is what distinguishes Mourning Dove's Coyote. She wants the listener to realize that Coyote really is divided. He has these two personas.
Everything we've done so far has kind of been this getting ready, learning who we are, getting ready for our story. There are two things we absolutely need to know, the how and why. How the story is told, why it's important. Salmon, you're going to come up with a story. I'm going to get you started. How the salmon, whatever. How the grizzly bear, whatever. How the Eagle clan, whatever. You're going to talk for a few moments, and all I want right now is an idea for the name of your story you're going to tell.
No, eagle walking around trying to find some way of
Flying.
After exploring Mourning Dove's coyote stories, students respond by crafting stories of their own based on Mourning Dove's content and structure.
All right, we're trying to trick the eagles to get the salmon. To give it to us so we can eat the salmon?
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I chose Mourning Dove because her identity is so critical in Coyote. She lived very much those two faces. She herself had a rough life, but she had this wonderful intention when she told her coyote tales, as they were told to her. Mourning Dove wanted to know that other tribal students, long after her, would have something that would bring them back to who they were, bring them back to their face.
Let's come back to order. Chief, get your people in line. Chief of the Salmon tribe, if you would walk up to the board, please, and write the title of the story you're going to build. It's right already because it starts with how. How the salmon swim gracefully and fast upstream. How Grizzly Bear tricked the eagle to get the salmon. And I hear a lot of conferencing going on among my bears. Oh, how the eagle raced the wind. Now, we have up here 3 titles that we're going to work with today. Okay, everyone in here has 1 vote. Looking at those 3 titles, Karen, if you could only hear one of them, not all, you're going to hear all 3, but if you could only hear one, which one would you want to hear more than the other 2?
Probably number 2.
Number 2.
Our local tribal councils vote on everything, speak on everything. Otherwise, you have no right to that face and that voice.
2.
2.
2.
2. Think for a moment, Eagles. Look what's happened so far. Look how many there are of you. Use your wisdom.
By drawing upon the tribal political process of voting and then having students reflect upon their particular vote, Greg extends the process of reader response.
Number 2.
Number 2. He's considering where he's sitting. You notice who is next to him. I want you to tell us why you voted the way you did.
I want to see how the Grizzlies trick the Eagles because I don't think that's possible.
Chief Salmon, does that satisfy you? How do you handle it? The way you get kicked out of the tribe is you go back there to your own reservation. We have to give him a name back there.
The one who...
What's his name going to be?
Lone Salmon.
Another suggestion. What's his tribe going to be?
Fox.
Fox or?
Coyote.
Fox or coyote? All right. Would anyone just like to join coyote back there? I saw Fire Eagle over here. The hand shot up. Do you want to join him?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, Chief Coyote.
Is there any way I can join another clan?
Does anyone want Chief Coyote? Think about that. What about our eagle over there who deserted? He deserted so quickly. Let's look over there at our fox and coyote. Are you happy on your reservation over there?
Yeah, I can handle it, I guess.
I was fascinated by the way that the trickster figure emerged out of his class. The young man who identifies himself as a coyote saw himself as someone who wanted to set himself apart, not be a part of a clan.
Our coyote today actually performed as a coyote would without any script. He was able to run out of the tribe at the right time. He was able to find his spot over in the corner at the right time.
All right, I need to bring our real storyteller into this, and that's Mourning Dove. What she needs to know is the how the idea was made. What are the main points in your story that you're going to tell? And the last thing, why the rest of us who aren't going to tell this story, but why the rest of us need to know this? Why is it important enough for the rest of us to know? All right, so take a moment, go through your chief, outline what's going to happen in your story.
Well, see, the thing is, we're gonna make it so that, because we're supposedly dumb, the bear's dumb. So we're gonna use that to our advantage.
He underestimates us, in other words.
The collaborative process of developing, relating, and responding both to Mourning Doves and their own stories helps students experience the Native American oral tradition.
Why is that important to know that?
The why, is that like the morale, the why part? Yeah. And like the morale is like, even though you're dumb, you can still outsmart people if you play it right,
I'd like you to go to your legends that you came up with yesterday. In your group today, make some important decisions. How is this going to be told? Because it's going to be told. You may write it out, but I still, when it comes time to present it, because each group is going to present to the other group, I want it spoken. I don't want it read.
Okay, you're asking about how they're going to get to the bears, right?
Yeah.
They're going to fly over the forest thing and see the bears.
So the fish have wings and talons, right?
Yeah.
And then we attack the bears.
Yeah.
How did we persuade the eagles to give us
how do we
wings and talons?
Huh?
Come up with a way of how you can get them. You can steal them. You can use
Yeah,
your story.
steal 'em.
We find a dead eagle.
Put that in. Just
And
put
we
that
take
in
their
where it'll
wings.
work in.
Why dead eagle?
How are we supposed to get the wings from the eagles if it's not dead?
The eagle could have been in the water.